Hi there. I thought I would share with you one book from, I believe, Michael purchased the first one that was from this 2014 collection book of Partial Nudity. This is the book that came out with it at the same time called Revealed. It had longer poems because Partial Nudity had a bunch of really short ones in it. So I'm going to share with you one poem from here, and it is called Depth of Field. When I looked for you at the crowded train station, the masses grew dense as I craned my neck until I saw your head emerging from the sea. Suddenly, I couldn't escape you. You seemed so crystal clear in this crazed moment commuter crowd, because everything blurred away as my focus grew sharper on you, perfectly framed in my depth of field. To this day, when I see you outside coming toward me, I first see you at a distance, but when I see you, it seems that everything about you becomes sharply into focus, and everything else in the world fades into the background. You don't know this, but when we face each other, seated for a meal, I sometimes stare at your temples, or maybe that space under your earlobe. I just look. I know at times like these, I want to capture every inch, every minute detail of you, store it in my memory so that I can have that sharp image of you forever in my mind.
Oh, wow.
Because I hosted the last one 2 weeks ago, I tried to come up with a poem based on other people's poems and my own poem of the day. Because I'm writing a poem every day, so I'm like, all right, this is what I read, and some of you did not hear it, so I'm going to share it with you. This was a poem that was my own and based on other people's writings from 2 weeks ago, or 3, whatever, from the 26th. And it's called Undulating Nexus. Forgive my... Apparently I've got a message I shouldn't get my phone. This is called Undulating Nexus. Anything can happen at any time, so it breaks my heart when you say goodbye. Your desire to live changes everything because your beauty and your grace, like a gazelle, is something I wish to never say goodbye to. I want to hold these images of yours, these percolations that wash over me, because no one speaks in the language of angels unless it is you, until you say goodbye to me again. My fortune's been cast like rain, pummeling down on me, pummeling me ever since these words belonging to you were so succinctly punctuated to me. Goodbye. It still echoes through the skull chambering my mind. You gave me light. You helped me shine. This truth we share together cannot be a goodbye because our time together is eternal. So don't say goodbye. Our elusive, now undulating nexus will never end. And although I was not the host, I started trying to come up with pieces for a poem for today, along with a poem for my poem every day, because today's Carl Sagan Day, because it's his birthday today. Carl Sagan. Anyway. So I started thinking about that, and I started saying, how can I start putting words from other people? So this is called Just Too High for Just One Man. The truth is out there, they say, and sometimes the only way to find it is to start searching for yourself. Thanks for darkness, for the darkness around us is deep. Thanks for wide-eyed wonder. For chaos and disorder proves that this is heaven, and heaven is an initiation. The universe is a wonderful thing, and some believe that in space, there has to be intelligent life out there. So I will join you in the darkness, join to dance in my private place in this not so private universe. So, SETI, start searching for signals. Let's shoot a gold record out into space so others can know humankind. We do it because we can, and there are few who understand. Time flies with nothing to lose. It's a lofty goal, one that seems just too high for just one man. It's true, but every miraculous journey starts with just one man, with one idea. So share that idea with the world, so everyone who feels so alone can know that they are not. Because even scientists, cosmologists are dreamers. So let's dream together. I might have said hi. I'd like to share with you 3 poems, come from this book called Revealed. That tells you something about me. I think I told this to someone recently, that this book, and it's called Revealed, the other one's called Partial Nudity, and this background image is taken from the x-ray scans of a past mammogram of mine. Because I said, if you want to know something about deep inside me, you might as well know that. I mean, you can't see it, but anyway. These 3 poems I'm going to read are from a show I did in 2012 with the Hamman of South Africa, a man whose visa was expired and can't come back. And he would come into a show with me and do music. So I wanted to do music. These 3, why the heck not? This first one is called Been a World Leader. People can think that Americans are cocky and arrogant because we've been a world leader for so long. Because even though our cars are from Korea, our electronics are from Japan, and we outshine on billions, better beers are from Germany, better wines and cheeses, champagnes from France, because even though we've been thrust into this global economy that Al Gore pushed us into by creating the internet, us Americans still seem to want to rest on our past laurels with the next millennium. Once I stopped for a beer at a dive in München, where the female bartender tended bar for 3 old German men and 1 very out-of-place American. Barely knowing German, I figured I could sit there, say a beer by name on tap, pay in euros, and have no problem. But at one point, after a jukebox in the far corner that I never noticed started playing some new American-sounding pop song, one of the old German men turned to me, yelling at me in German. Holding my Franziskaner draft, my eyes turned to saucers, unable to say a word to this old German man yelling at me in a language I could not decipher. And that's when the bartender yelled at that old man in German, then in English. They didn't play that song, I did. So I smiled at the bartender, I finished my beer, and I realized that us Americans can still get into trouble without saying a word. It was a show, I was dressed as a man, and I was doing all these things in a show. Anywho, so it's a weird thing, but that's what I get for being a performance artist. This one's called Enough's Enough. Once, when I was in Bergstein, where the Alps in Austria gave every street corner a 60-degree incline, I signed up for a bus tour to go to Radon Cave at a nearby mining mountain. Waiting outside at the bus, I stood with something like 17 German-speaking Austrians, and I felt so out of my element that I was almost dying to hear any American voice saying any words. And that's when I heard a boisterous baritone. So I made my way to this booming, distinctly American voice. I merely asked, "American?" And the large man heard my inflection, and he immediately spoke. "Hi, I'm Fred, and the little missus here is Mildred." And this petite, subservient Midwestern woman standing next to this melodramatic man made the couple look like a perfect 10. Frank asked me where I was from, and when I said Chicago, he seemed to start on his spiel, schlepping his speech. Hey, we're from Detroit. Worked for GM for 35 years, and now that the kids are grown, with my pension, I thought we'd go see the Alps. And then I realized that I could have stood at 50 paces and still heard Frank telling me and the entire neighborhood the epic of his life. That's when it occurred to me how loud Americans are. Because when first traveling through Europe, after the War on Terror began, the United States government and airlines wanted to inform Americans traveling abroad that if they were concerned about being a conspicuous target by looking too American, they offered these simple guidelines to help any American feel safe. Don't wear a university sweatshirt. Don't wear a baseball cap. Don't chew gum. Don't yell. And I can imagine Frank yelling out, "Hey, Mildred!" And so I made a point to not sit near Frank and Mildred on that bus. But that was okay. I could still hear them from rows away as we made our way to that mountain range. And to the Austrians on that bus who spoke English, a part of me wanted to tell them, not all Americans are that loud. Because even if we Americans want to rest on our laurels, some of us know when enough is enough. And this last one that I wanted to share with you, I asked the man from South Africa if he knew this song. And he listened to no music, and he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, then not. I have no idea if you would be able to do anything, but this last poem is called My Kind of Town. After walking through the Forbidden City in Beijing, China, where all the palace doorways had gold-covered risers blocking people's way into the rooms, because the higher the level of authority or royalty status of the kingdom, the higher the bar people had to step over, not on, but over to get inside the royal rooms. But after the Forbidden City and entering the Summer Palace, an old Chinese man walked up to me with what I believe was his granddaughter walking 1 foot behind. Though, who knows, in China this one young girl may be one of his concubines, but it's really not for me to judge. But this older Chinese gentleman walked up to me and asked, in the best English he could muster, where I was from. And so I told him the United States. And then I said, Chicago. And that's when this man's eyes lit up, and he said, my kind of town. And I laughed, nodding my head in agreement, until he leaned in and started to talk to me and said, Frank Sinatra sang that. And yes, he did, I said, because even though this world is so vast, we will always find ways to connect with one another. I'm going to read from the book Review. And this poem is not about serpents. Actually, it's about cats. But you wouldn't know about this poem. It's called Loving For. You called to me, so I followed. Found a place for us where you could walk over and just collapse right next to me as I ran my fingers up and down your body. You feel like cashmere as you look up at me and I see your big blue storytelling eyes. I touch you until you are suddenly scared and have to walk away. Only when I stop for lunch do you come to me, bold, tempestuous, my self-actualized love. You just walk right up to me, collapse on me, and you expect me to serve you. So I grab you by the neck, pull your head back to see your eyes start to close. It's like you've trained me well. I pull you closer to me until our eyes are inches apart. And I kiss your forehead. You want me only when I have something to offer. And when I've got the goods, your live body almost squeals with delight. And you know, it's only at these moments when I can touch you, feel your softness for myself. This is what I cherish. So at night, that's when we've got our chance. You usually want to test me, but at night, that's when you come to me, curl up against my body, let me envelop you in my arm. That's when I'm able to sleep.
Oh.